am a Saiyan that was raised on planet Earth. I will not let you destroy my
world! Fairy Tail chapter was a very emotional chapter. You know, a lot of emotion flows inside this chapter. It was a very touching chapter. I like the way how Hero made this chapter. Now, when I first started to read this fairy tale, I thought that the entire fairy tale guild, after it had been destroyed, they all went their separate ways and everyone else left fairy tale, but clearly I was wrong. And now before we start the review, I just must let you guys know that the 2 chapter per week is gone. There's no more, but whatever. So let's get right to the review. So we have everyone entering Magnolia. Natsu, Lucy, Wendy, Urza, Gray, Juvia, Gajio, they all came to Magnolia. But before they could even go further, they told Lucy and Natsu that they'll be back. They have to do some little work before they come back and meet them. So they said, we'll meet you guys at the fairy tale where the fairy tale guild was before. So then while they're there, we see Natsu when looking around Magnolia saying, wow man, this thing hasn't changed. And then Wendy starts to look around saying the same thing. But the only person that looked very sad was Lucy. Lucy seemed to have very sad emotions flowing through her face. And then that's when Happy asked her, are you okay, Lucy? What's wrong? And out of nowhere, we see Lucy start having flashback all the way from the beginning, from part where she first joined Fairy Tail, and then when Phantom Lord tried to destroy their guild, everything they did together, she had a flashback about that, and she starts sitting there thinking about Fairy Tail. Now, inside Lucy's flashback, they showed us how Makara left Fairy Tail. After when Chpaters did their job, Makara looked at the Fairy Tail guild was all destroyed. He said to everyone that from now on, I hereby say that Fairy Tail is now dissolved. There's no more Fairy Tail. Now everybody got pissed off. They said, "Yo, Master, are you high? What the hell are you saying?" And then he got really pissed off, and he said with a very angry voice that Fairy Tail is dissolved, and any of you guys try to bring back Fairy Tail, there'll be consequence. Now go your separate ways. And that's when Fairy Tail pretty much split up from there on. After that incident, they never saw Makara again. And then once when they got near the Fairy Tail Guild, Lucy started becoming very emotional. She stopped and she said, I cannot go any further. I have too much hurtful memories about this place. And then she starts thinking that maybe everyone else in Fairy Tail decided to go their separate ways. Like, why were they going to come back? It's been a year. And then out of nowhere, we see Kana come up to Lucy and Natsu. Now, Kana didn't change for 1 year. The only thing that changed about her was her hairstyle. But everything else, Kana still the same. She's still a drinker. She drinks a lot. And then she came and she saw Lucy and they're really happy to see each other. And that's when Kana tells Lucy that you think that we'll forget about Fairy Tail just after 1 year. And then she tells what she's been doing throughout the 1 year. It turns out that Kana was looking for Gildars in that 1 year gap. And then when she got a letter, she stopped looking for Gildar and she came right back to Magnolia. Now I really like Natsu here. He keeps motivating everyone. He told Lucy that, listen Lucy, just because Fairy Tail been destroyed, it's just a building, we could build it back again, Fairy Tail's still with us. You know, he's very supportive when it comes to Fairy Tail, and that's something I really like about Natsu. So then when Kana was talking to her, Kana said to Lucy, come, let's meet everyone else. What? Turns out that everybody was still in Magnolia, no one left, only some people left just to do some job. Other than that, they're all in Magnolia. So when Lucy came, we saw everyone, all the entire Fairy Tail guild standing right there saying hi to Lucy, Natsu, and then Lucy was very emotional. She started saying everyone's name. We even saw Elfman. Elfman still looks the same. Lizana looks a little different. When she came up to Lucy, she said hi. She gave her a hug, but Lizana looks a little different. Her hairstyle changed. And Mira still looks the same. And now when Mira came, Lucy started getting more emotional. And then Mira's like, welcome home, Lucy. And then she starts crying a lot as she hugs Mira. There was a very touching moment right there, how the Fairy Tail met up together. Clearly shows you that you cannot break Fairy Tail. And then, you know, I was surprised. I never thought that they would all stay in Magnolia. I thought they might go their own separate ways, but clearly I was wrong. So then while they're having a touching moment, Natsu goes and brings out the Fairy Tail flag, and he says it's time to build back the guild. And that's where the chapter ended right there. The name of the next chapter is called The 7th Master of the Guild. Now, my hope for this is that if anyone should be the master, it has to be Natsu. He's by far the strongest Fairy Tail wizard now, and he's the only Fairy Tail wizard who had the most motivation and the most pride for Fairy Tail. While everyone else was down about Fairy Tail, Natsu kept bragging about Fairy Tail, saying that, no, I'm gonna bring it back, don't give up hope on Fairy Tail, and all that, you know. He had a lot of pride for Fairy Tail, so if anyone should deserve this title, it has to be Natsu. If Natsu doesn't get it, I am gonna be upset, because he clearly deserves the Fairy Tail title. So that is all today, people. Let me know your thoughts about this chapter, and let me know who do you think is going to be the next master. Do you want Natsu like I said, or do you want someone else? I think Natsu deserves it, and that's why I believe Natsu should get the next Guild Master title. That's all today, people. If there's anything you like about the review, what we're going to talk about, please drop me a like. That would be amazing. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. I will greatly appreciate that, guys. I'm GokuT23. Have an insane day, people.